Hey, beautiful people. How are you tonight? It's me, Rashid Martin, and this is another segment, The Quiet Storm. Some things never change. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. One thing in particular is us as black people. We are living in our days of, you know, the days of Noah. Let me explain something before I get to talk about that. Um, what I want to share with you guys is about the man they call George Floyd. Yeah, I know it's a big topic. Talk about what can I say about that. Um, it's just it's very very sad how it happened. I feel like people think they're above things, and I think that the people that were involved with the, you know, situation, not situation, with the killing, put it like that. Let's just be real. I think that is something that needs to be discussed over and over, and it needs to be understood. When you do an act of violence against an unarmed civilian, it tells me that you were malicious in your attack against an unarmed man who was not armed, was not considered dangerous, but was innocent of his well being as a human being. He was sacrificed in a way where they made sure that people witnessed him on camera being sacrificed. I feel like the officers that were involved were, you know, they were all a part of it. Not just one officer, but all four. And to me, I feel like justice was supposed to be served that day. But there was not no one there to stop it. There was only two people recording that day, the incident, and four fellow officers who decided to take another person's life away. I feel like they don't have no right for that. I mean, if you look at it, it's a black man on top of that. And then I'm going to put it the way it's supposed to be put, four white officers. It's not about a black and white. A crime was committed in front of the world's view. And I feel like that could have been prevented. I feel like this officer was out for revenge because he's a black man living his life the way it's supposed to be lived. And he doing things in the right manner. And his light was shining because he was providing for his family. He was providing for his community. And he was taking care of himself as a man. He was being a man, minding his own business. doing the right thing, not breaking any laws, not being unlawful, cooperating, as they say. And he paid for it with his life. I felt like they say black lives don't matter. It does matter. Just think of Michael Brown when he was accused of stealing. He didn't steal. It was just a normal, everyday exchange between customer and clerk. He was just like Mr. Granger in New York City, who was in a chokehold for no apparent reason whatsoever. A reason why I mentioned the days of Noah, because if you look at the way the story was told, it was told through the eyes of someone who knew that those days was coming again. And as I sit here and talking to you tonight about something so detrimental, I should say, to the length of what the extent of the crime is, I feel like people in the Lord's eyes, not in my eyes, because the crime doesn't set in my eyes. In the Lord's eyes, the Lord sees judgment where he will avail. And I feel like it's a painful memory we're going to have, because we lost another black man and fellow brother who was doing the right thing for his people and himself and his family. We lost another black life that, who was well respected in the community. I feel like that as a black man myself, it is very, very tragic that another black brother who I didn't know, whose story I just got to know, whose face I'm not familiar with, suddenly is no longer with us. It is very, very tragic what happened to him, in the way he didn't breathe for 9 minutes, they say. He couldn't even gasp for air. Slowly he did gasp for air, and he telling the officer he can't breathe. He can't breathe. He can't breathe. For the officer to say in a response in his statement, "Oh, he's talking," that means that he's saying that he's able to still talk. Even with my knee on his neck, he had his knee pressed down on his neck. I feel like that was this so immoral, humanly immoral, to make sure this man don't breathe, lose his oxygen, air from his heart to, his breathing airwaves. They say that, oh, why are people protesting? They protesting because for 400 years, we've been dealing with this through history of being whipped, being chained, and also being, slaved in the way that America only knows. Where they see how a black man is supposed to fit in. They see us as inconsistent, and put it like that. They don't see us consistently, putting ourselves together. They only show one side of us, like different other sides of a black man. They don't show how we behind closed doors really take care of our family, how we sacrifice our time for our family, how we provide for our family, give our time to our family. They don't show that side in movies. They show a different side to a black man. They show a side where we're incapable of having a committed relationship. They show us only using language that it doesn't appropriate for age appropriate children. They show us turning against each other. They show us having baby mama drama or babies that we make and leave everywhere. They show us in that light. They show us in the dark instead of the light, where we're taking care of our families, where we're providing for our children, where we're taking care of our children and giving them what they deserve, a life. They don't show us giving the gift of joy and laughter, happiness to our family. They only show us in the dark sense of shooting up the neighborhood or just shooting up each other or smoking weed, or they showing us as being gangsters, coming out of the ghetto, or they don't show us as strong-minded black men taking care of our families like we normally do. They don't show us being successful and, being business-like minded men who invest our money in stocks and bonds. They don't show us treating, each other medically, what medical minds and in the field of medicine. They don't show us how we're lawyers. They don't show us how we're congressmen. They don't show us trying to be like president of the United States. It's always the other way around when it comes to black men. We get treated with such disrespect, so to speak. I'm only saying this because the way they did him was so tragic, I should say. It hurts me because I'm in pain, because I feel like I could be any one of us, not just him, But he had to suffer that way for the world to see, to come to an understanding why black lives matter. Why do we go through the things we go through? Today, I saw someone that I hardly talk to, and they were of a different race. Put it like that. They were a different race. And when I talked to this person, she shared with me she understands what we go through. Why? And then she said, why do you guys get treated unfairly? Why do you guys get treated that way? And I explained to her, because people don't know what it is to be a black man or a black woman. How our struggles are more about family issues than any other culture. They don't think we can rise above, what we are. Middle class. That's what they call it. They call us beneath the food chain. They said that we're lower than them. Excuse me. Let me share some with you guys. Through history, there were black doctors, black lawyers, black inventors. And those pictures never get shown of us. They America, America, America. They blocks that out. They take that out the equation. They don't give us the benefit of the doubt. We earned our place in history. We earned the respect in history. We earned our mark in history. We have to keep fighting because they don't want to give us the opportunity to shine our light in front of the camera, to shine our light in front of millions of people who don't know what a black life is all about. But when we show our light, they only show other images of us. Instead of us being shown as providers, men of strength, men who do sacrifice their time for their family behind closed doors. I spend my day at home a lot with my family, with my wife and daughter. You guys see that. How every segment I always show you my daughter. I show you my daughter, who my daughter is and everything. I show you how much time I spend with my daughter. I've shown you many, many segments what me and my daughter do. How I go over and spend time with my daughter. You guys see that with your own eyes. You guys witness that. That's why I say you guys are a great cloud of witnesses. That's what I mean. You guys are the ones that see what a black man goes through. We have to fight because we don't have the right to say what is on our minds because we are undermined by other things and sometimes other cultures, that we're not smart enough because we're black, that we can't be on top because we're black, that we can't handle certain positions because we're black. No matter how our language change, how we change our appearance, we're still considered black. Our skin color is what matters most to people than our ability to succeed and become successful. The I should say this. The situation that happened with him is tragic because a lot of people witnessed what happened. They heard him say he couldn't breathe. 9 minutes later, he goes to the hospital. The officer lets him out. He starts to feel something in his chest. He starts to feel some type of wheezing in his chest. And then moments later, he died. I feel like this. These were trained professionals who knew exactly how to plan this out. And three of them got away with it. The other one, he didn't. He was just one out of four. One out of four. So it was 4 versus 1. See how I put that? 4 versus 1. They had to surround him to make it seem like we're doing our job. No, we're not. On camera, they were not doing their job correctly. They were doing their job savagely in a way that was unlawful, criminal even. It was an act of violence against a black man because they had so much hatred in their heart for us. Police officers do sometimes. They put us as criminals in their mind. They profile us as that. It's a term for it, but they do it. It's kind of hidden out of the public eye. It's called DWI, driving while black. DWB, driving while black. Or, you know, they have to put it in a way, well, it's called driving while black, which that means is we're considered profiled, as they call it, in their system. We're criminal profiled, but they have a certain file for it in the system. When people think that, oh, we're the only target, we're being targeted every day as black men, being targeted. You don't never hear a lot about black women. Sometimes you may see black. The only reason why you may see a black woman is her with education, but the black man don't get viewed as being educated. Sometimes you may see him in movies. That's a rare thing. You may see a black man in the movie. It's because he's already a well-known person, but you don't see other black men taking care of their families. That in itself is something else, you know.